I'm Sebastian St. James. Will Amazon fail? Should you avoid buying Amazon stock right now? If you have Amazon stock, should you sell them at once? Or should you in fact buy more? Maybe this is an amazing buying opportunity while Amazon stocks are low. To understand the answers to those questions, we need to understand the earnings of Amazon. And I've got the video right for you. In Amazon's latest earnings, they scored an F on their report card. I'll explain. And how does Amazon make all its money? I'll let you know. Here is Amazon's free cash flow. TTM is the trailing 12 months, so that's the last 12 consecutive months. As you can see, it's down 171% year over year and a loss of 18,627 in this quarter. No, that's definitely an F. How does that compare with the previous quarters? Last quarter was in negative territory as well. To get positive free cash flow, you need to go back into last year, and it's actually been coming down quite a lot since quarter 2021, where it was 26,410. Of course, these aren't in dollars. Well, they are. But we're talking about billions here. Operating cash flow decreased by 41% year over year. That's a massive drop. Amazon's long-term goal is to optimize free cash flows. Yes, I think you should get on to that. So I know what profit is, but what is this free cash flow exactly? Can you define that for me? Well, yes, I can. Free cash flow is cash flow from operations reduced by purchases of property and equipment, net of proceeds from sales and incentives. If you want me to go into a lot more detail of exactly what that means, I'll cover that in a separate video in the future. Amazon's free cash flow, less principal repayments of financial leases and financial obligations, in other words, its debt repayments, is down 297% year over year, minus 29,335. And in the same time last year, it was 14,859. So big crash there. Y/Y means literally year over year. So take the financial information now, go back exactly 12 months and compare how much have we grown, how much have we gone down by. That is year over year. Free cash flow, less equipment finance leases and principal repayments of all other financial leases and financial obligations in the trailing 12 months is down 232%. Minus 22,279 this quarter. Go back exactly 12 months and it was 16,846. Amazon is worth so many billion divided by the number of shares which are out, but the company actually produces new shares all the time for CEO and other executive compensation. Am I being diluted? Let's have a look. In this quarter, we find there's 523 total shares. Now, we're talking about billions and billions here, so it's just the relative figures that matter. This time last year, there was only 519. So there have been more shares produced. In other words, there has been share dilution. Stock-based awards that are outstanding this year is 14 and last year was 15. Amazon says it wants to efficiently manage share dilution. Stop giving so many to your executive team. Simple. There we go. I fixed the problem for you. All right, let's talk about its net sales. The amount of money it's making minus its costs to make those sales. Well, in this quarter, it's 116,444. And if you go back in the same time last year, it was 108,518. So we're actually up a bit by 7% year on year or 9% FX adjusted. What is FX? FX is foreign exchange adjusted. So this assumes that the dollar in US dollars here versus all the other currency never changes. It's somehow magically fixed. Is that real? No, it's not real. But in order to have a fair comparison for management, they eliminate foreign exchange fluctuations. Well, that's all well and good, but how does Amazon make all its money? Are you going to let me know, Sebastian? The answer is yes. Here are the net sales in the trailing 12 months. On the right, we can see that the North American division makes 60% of all its net sales. Internationally, it's 26%, so definitely the bulk of Amazon is still located in North America. And AWS is 14%. AWS is Amazon Web Services, in other words, it's cloud computing services. So AWS, as far as net sales is concerned, is only actually a fairly small amount at 14%. Everything else is the rest, basically. So what is the rest? Well, the rest will be Amazon, as in Amazon website. It would be Whole Foods. It would be Prime. It would be their advertising business on their Amazon websites. This is all basically everything but AWS. And what is net sales? Net sales is the sum of all the company's gross sales minus its returns, allowances, and discounts. Basically, a company has three types of costs. They are direct costs, indirect costs, and capital costs. And net sales only factors in the direct costs. Now, if you want more details, I'll do a video specifically on that, but for now, let's focus on Amazon. Its operating income is down, 59% year over year. This quarter, it was $3,669, and if you go back at 12 months, it was $8,885. That is a massive drop. If you look at the graph, it's like a set of stepping stones, ever going down, but it is up slightly on last quarter, which is interesting. So what is operating income? Operating income measures the amount of profit realized from a business's operations after reducing operating expenses such as wages, depreciation, and costs of goods sold. And I'll do a video in the future which explains all of that in a lot more detail. The operating income of the trailing 12 months is down 29% year over year. This quarter is $19,683. Go back 12 months ago, it was $27,775. If you're specifically interested in Amazon, I've got a future video coming up to tell you more information about Amazon, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. The net income loss is down 147% year over year. Well, the loss isn't down, but the income is, and it's a loss. So it is minus, that means loss, $3,844. This time last year was $8,107. And there was a bit of a net income bump in the last quarter, but sadly, not this one. Net income includes a pre-tax valuation loss of $7.6 billion, which includes in non-operating expense from our common stock investment in Rivian Automotive, Inc. If you haven't been following Amazon specifically, what is this Rivian Automotive that they're talking about? Rivian Automotive, Inc. is an American electric vehicle automaker and automatic technology company founded in 2009. Rivian is building an electric sports utility and pickup trucks, which is the two things which are selling. Basically, sedans are out, pickup trucks and SUVs are in. On a skateboard platform. This is a standardized platform which they're trying to create, and they're going to put all their technology on this skateboard platform that can support future vehicles or can be adopted by other companies. So Rivian Automotive is trying to produce this technology, the electric vehicle technology, but they're prepared to sell it to other cars. So maybe not Tesla, they seem to be doing their own, but Ford, GM, all sorts of other companies may eventually be based on some technology from this company. So does Amazon own the whole lot? How much exactly does Amazon own of Rivian? Amazon beneficially owned more than 18% stake in the electric vehicle maker Rivian Automotive and more than a 5% stake in self-driving software company Aurora Innovation. So there you go. Electric and self-driving cars is what Amazon's currently investing in. We've seen the graph where cash flow is going down, down, down. Where specifically is this problem? Can you identify it? Its net income is down 20% year over year at $21,413 versus last year, which is $26,903. Now let's split that up. The North American division, remember there's three, North America, International, and what's the last one? AWS. The net sales in North America is $69,244. This time last year it was $64,366. So net sales has actually gone up 8% year over year. Not as good as last quarter, so we acknowledge that. But overall has been trending upwards. That's not the profit, that's the sales. The operating income is a loss of $1,568. This time last year it was $3,450 in profit. That's the North American division. Now let's have a look at international. The sales are down 6%. Whereas for North America it was up 8%. The rest of the world, you're not pulling your weight. In international, it was $28,759. For the same time last year, it was $30,649. Yes, 6% drop. So why are we starting to see these declines? The problem is last year and the year before there was COVID, where people were stuck in their homes and bought and bought and bought off Amazon. At the moment, they're free not to wear masks perhaps, and so they've sort of ignored Amazon relative to the huge growth before. So you've got to keep in mind exactly what's been happening lately, and that gives these financial results the context. The operating income from the international division is minus 1,281. Same time last year it was positive 1,252. So terrible result there, but it's getting less negative, if you can see there on the right hand side. AWS, so cloud computing, Amazon Web Services. Let's see how they went. No red here, everything looks amazing. Up 37% year on year. 18,441. This time last year it was 13,503. So Amazon Web Services, you are doing amazing. There's been a call by a lot of financial reviewers to spin off AWS. Why? Well, it's so profitable. And then you can just buy Amazon AWS and get rid of the rest, which isn't doing so well. Will that happen in the future? Well, possibly or possibly not. But you can see why people are thinking about that. The operating income was up 57% year on year, 6,518 this quarter versus 4,163. So, A for Amazon Web Services, F for Amazon North America and Amazon International. Of course, it's all one company, so we've got to take the results overall. That's this quarter's earnings. What does Amazon's management say about the future? Because remember, we have to look at that. Net sales are expected to be between 116 billion and 121 billion, or grow 3% and 7% compared with the second quarter 2021. This guidance anticipates an unfavorable impact of approximately 200 basis points. 200 basis points is 2% from foreign exchange rates. So things are getting better a little bit, is basically what they're saying there. Operating income loss is expected to be between 1 billion and 3 billion compared to 7.7 billion in the second quarter 2021. So still a loss is predicted for next quarter, but less of a loss. That is just a snapshot of this quarter's earnings. If you're considering buying Amazon shares, you need a more holistic view on Amazon. I've done a video on that. Go ahead and click on it here.